What's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel, Makes Sense. Today we're going to be talking about this trash pump that I just picked up on Facebook Marketplace. She was asking 200 bucks, but we went there and it wasn't running, so I offered her 75 and she took it. It's a $350 pump, brand new, so if we can get it running, that's a sweet deal that we just got. Backstory is we need an external or secondary water source for our lawns and our garden up there. And so this will be able to fill up our portable tank from our creek, and should be an awesome tool for us to use. So let's dive in and see if we can get this thing going. All right, guys, so I forgot to record while I was taking the bowl off the carb here. We think it was being starved of fuel, so the first thing I did was take off the bowl, and I'm cleaning the main jet out. There's only one jet in there, so I was trying to clean it out with a small set of Allens that I have. They were too big still for the hole, so Pops came over and we're gonna go to his workshop, and he's got some small thin wire that we're gonna try and bust through that hole.
You got something really small in there, you know, but it's got to have some backbone. A lot of times even like welding wire doesn't work. Here it is.
Nice.
We have the best at Parker Subaru. Choose from the fuel-efficient Crosstrek, the Forester loaded with safety and tech features beyond the competition, or the legendary Go Anywhere Outback.
Probably still got around it, sure.
I don't think so. Shine it up to that light. See how small that hole is. If you ram a drill.
Oh yeah. So we got it cleared out, and here I am putting it back in, and right here I'm putting in the float needle, which if you don't know how a carb works, you should probably just watch a different YouTube video on that. I'm not going to explain that, but so yeah, I'm basically reassembling to try and fire it back up and see if we're now getting fuel. I definitely skipped that, or I wasn't filming at the beginning by accident. So, and the bowl was full of all kinds of crap, so we already sprayed it out, but I was just making sure here that there was no leftover grit and grime, and I do kind of smack it on the frame here a couple times, and some stuff kind of came out. So just trying to make sure it doesn't get all clogged back up when we're trying to get it going. That's the bowl screw there that holds it onto the carb. And here I'm gonna fire it up. So he had some weird markings on what was on for choke and what was off, and it just was all kind of marked weird. And I don't think I get it to start here. I definitely don't. So I tear it back down. Well, we get it to start with this starting fluid, but it would only run with the starting fluid. So we still weren't getting fuel up in that crevice there where the actual fuel comes up through the jet. So I basically tear it back down from here. And it doesn't take much to tear it down. You just turn the gas off and pull that float bowl off again. So yeah, we keep spraying. It doesn't keep running. So my dad's explaining to me, he's the carb guru. So I'm trying to learn everything he knows. There is a fuel filter there that I didn't see before, but we thought that past that jet, there's another. It's basically a hole that comes down through the carb um, for the needle to go through. So we are basically taking that jet back out, and I'm going to try one of my Allens and force it up in there, which it doesn't take much force, and you shouldn't really force it. So taking one of my Allens and going to clean out the debris that's in there, tapping out the jet there, taking one more look to see if it's clogged. So here's my little Allen, and it fit perfectly up in there, and I was able to actually get it all cleaned out, and the camera angle sucks, so
While we're there,
Dad comes over to squirt some carb cleaner in there. Checking that jet one more time just to make sure when it was sitting on the tailgate didn't pick up some debris. And we're gonna reassemble and give it another shot. Because as long as that hole is clear and that jet's clear, the fuel should go down in the bowl. Or the fuel was already in the bowl, sorry, but the fuel should be able to come back out up into the carb and then interact with the air. So there, I finally switch it to that's full choke and it fires right up. So I was pretty stoked about that. Figuring, you got to figure out which way the levers need to go when they're not labeled that great.
Cool. Yep. Let's go pump some water.
And here we're taking off all the connections and putting Teflon on them. You want to have Teflon on these connections and you want them to be tight, and they really weren't that tight. So, because you don't want air to be going into the pump, that can mess up your pump. And, $75, you don't really want to I mean, if you had to buy parts, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but if you can get away with just that $75 initial price and then get everything else up and running and not have another breakdown, that's the way you want to go. And hindsight, I mean, these were all different size, so I didn't want to keep switching sockets, but I was not getting it tight enough with that flathead, and you'll see later on. And now we're back down in our creek. I didn't film us driving down. I probably should have because it's kind of a gnarly road from the top down to the creek. And I fire this baby up, hopefully. You got to get it primed, the actual pump, so that's what I'm doing there. Opening the top. Dad's got the bucket. And you definitely want to have the hose primed too. Otherwise, it's just going to take forever to fill that hose. Or you can just bring the hose up and kink it. And you probably want a funnel because we were just missing most of the time as we were pouring it into the actual pump. But I had never operated a trash pump before. I don't think Dad had either, but see it just kind of spilling everywhere. And I had a blunder here. I was pulling on it for quite a few times. And finally figured out from Pops that I had the switch off. One pull with the switch on. Yep. At first she was not pulling a lot of water, so I was getting worried there. that the pump might be weak. Pops thought it was weak too. He was mentioning that. But we ended up figuring out later on here that it was on full choke, but it was only running on full choke. Like if I flipped it all the way to no choke at all, it would die. So I got the most revs out of it when I would put it at halfway. So there's still some cleaning that needs to be done in the carb, but overall, even at half choke, we're still filling up pretty quick, and you'll see here after we finally get all the air bled out.
She was gushing.
This is a pretty cool idea that Pops had to bring them together and force any air out. And yes, these were super loose with the flathead, so, and then we were getting leaks, so never again will I use a flathead for these. Still getting spurts, but you'll see here. I don't know if I actually have that on camera where I go down there, but it was half choke is what we needed on this particular pump. While it was used, but I mean a brand new one, you're not gonna have these issues, but we're not buying that brand new price either. So yeah, at this point it's flowing a lot better after I switched it to half. And this is a 450 gallon tank, so
I saw something somewhere.
I'll climb up here in a second and you can see the flow.
I saw it in liters.
We're looking for the actual tank size. Yeah, see, it's flowing a lot better. Alright guys, so I'm finishing up the edit on this video. Overall, it was a success in my opinion. We got a new tool, we got it for cheap, and we got to learn about how a new piece of equipment works. So it should be an awesome thing for us to have around. It's kind of like the 2 other dozer vids that we have out there. We're just avoiding lumber prices by having our own lumber and just being proactive and going out there, getting it, milling it, putting it up. It's just a DIY thing. So that's kind of what we're going to promote on this channel. So if you dig it, give us a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll keep them coming. Cheers guys, have a good one.